Greetings, Rebel fans. My name is Jason Kelly, and this is the Let's Run podcast. We just got off of Burner Brigade. It's been a little bit since the game ended. I did not realize, however, that that the Burner Brigade podcast had been deleted already. We're not going to save those around. They're meant to be kind of live listening shows. My apologies for that. I figured instead of waiting till tomorrow, and I'm just tweeting this out right now, instead of waiting till tomorrow, I decided that I wanted to just go live. I will download this one and send it out through the Substack link so that everybody listening a bit later can get to it. But I felt like there just needed to be some piece of Rebel content that was out tonight. So my apologies for the late start. My apologies for not getting everything together. Want to break down the game, want to talk about what happened, why it happened, how the Rebels went in, and really from beginning to end, really, I think this was kind of a wire-to-wire victory. Now, usually when people say wire-to-wire victories, they mean maybe a little bit bigger margins. But San Diego State's just such a good defensive team that winning big against them is really, really difficult, and scoring a lot of points against them is really, really difficult. But tonight was really a masterclass for the Rebels. And I'm just absolutely proud. Yeah, I'm just absolutely proud, and I'm ecstatic that this happened this way. I'm ecstatic that the Running Rebels were able to win. I understand that with this live stream, we probably won't get quite as many people on it because I did already say that I was going to go live tomorrow. But this will act as the live stream. I'll promote this one so it can get out to a little bit more, a few more people. But let's jump into the box score and let's see how the Rebels did this. It's a place, Viejas Arena, that the Running Rebels haven't won. They won in 2020. San Diego State was undefeated that year. And the Rebels did end their undefeated season that year in 2020. That was the Elijah Mitrulong. Bryce Hamilton was on that team. Amori Hardy was on that team. So just an outstanding, it's really difficult to win there. That's the last time that we've done it. And so let's jump into the stats here. Let's go over each individual player. We'll start with San Diego State. Not a lot to talk about. Miles Bird was excellent for them. I believe he was like four of 9 or something in the second half from three. He did hit 4 big three-pointers. Ended up with 21 points. Nick Boyd was also really solid. But the Rebels really held San Diego State to just overall a mediocre game. 46% from the field, 32% from three. It was the best Rebel defensive performance of the year, including that game against Utah State. I was really, really, really proud of them for pulling that off, for playing that level of defense throughout this game. Going into the stats for the Running Rebels, we'll start at the bottom. Jacob Barnaby got 5 minutes. I actually really liked those 5 minutes. He did have a turnover, but he did get an assist. No rebounds, but I really thought that he brought good energy in that 5 minutes, and I think he's kind of playing himself into a little bit more time. Pop was amazing. Pop offensive rating 175. That's actually the highest offensive rating on the team. Now, it was in a small sample size, only 12 minutes, but for Pop to go in there, get 4 points, he did hit 2 of his 3 free throws. Credit to him. I thought he played an excellent game. Jalen Bedford, he had a really solid first half, not as good of a second half, but I thought really played, really kept the Rebels in it that first half, where it looked like San Diego State might have a chance to open up some sort of lead. Bedford was controlling the pace of the game. DJ Thomas was struggling early, but turned it on as the game went on. And Bedford kind of made up for that lack of early success for DJ Thomas. I was really happy with him. Brooklyn Hicks, one of my favorite games a Running Rebel has ever played. That's a little bit of hyperbole because there have been a lot of great games for the Running Rebels, but I thought Brooklyn Hicks' hustle, his energy, just the passion that he brought to the floor was remarkable. He finishes 4 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from three. Did only go 2 of 4 from the free throw line, but he did have a massive steal that really led to a fast break point and a fast break bucket that pushed the lead back into UNLV's favor. When San Diego State cut the Rebel lead to 3, we were in a bit of trouble there. And it was a Brooklyn Hicks steal and dunk that kind of steadied the Rebels. And his energy throughout the court, he had a huge shot around 2 minutes to go. He had a runner in the lane that went. Just a marvelous Brooklyn Hicks game. Only 25 minutes from him. I'd love to see him above 30. I think he's definitely worthy of more time in the rotation. Jalen Hill, surprisingly, only 13 minutes. I was surprised that the staff went away from him after that excellent performance that he had against Utah State. I don't know if it was injury related, but certainly to do that well, I think it was great. Rebel Robert comes in. Rebel Robert's one of my favorite fans. He played a little bit of a character, but Robert's a diehard Rebel fan. You know, you're not going to find somebody more passionate than Robert. He says, need to go 3-2 in the next 5. Final 8 games are cupcakes, and we will win the final 8 games easily. Go 3-2 in the next 5, and we are the Mountain West regular season champs. Mountain West champs have never been left out of the NCAA. This win tonight likely won us the league. Banners and rings. I think there's a little bit of hyperbole, and I think there might be a little bit of sarcasm there. But he says, Brooklyn played so good. D-Don free throws need to be mentioned. Yeah, DJ Thomas, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Absolutely stellar performance. He was nails. DJ has had struggles from the free throw line through a lot of his career at UNLV. And to see him do that well from the free throw line was really marvelous. I was really happy for him because the free throw line has been a little bit of a sore spot, but 10 of 10 from the free throw line is massive. He had 5 assists and 5 turnovers. Not a great game distributing the ball, but DJ was the steadying presence in the point guard at the point guard position. Another guy that I want to shout out who may not look like he played great, but he really did, is Jaden Henley. He was 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, the Rebels' leading rebounder back in this game. Henley was remarkable. Henley is a player that I have doubted a lot throughout the course of this season. And to see Henley kind of turn it on and play like that, I was really proud of him. And I thought defensively it was probably the best game he's played as a running Rebel. And so, just full credit to Jaden Henley. I thought he played absolutely fantastic. Other players that need to be mentioned, Julian Rishwain did hit 2 threes. 2 for 5 from the from the 3-point line and a drive to the bucket. Finishes with 8 points. I thought it was a really solid Julian Rishwain game. A couple of things, that may go unnoticed, but not by me. He did have a block and he had 2 steals. Remarkable game for Julian Rishwain. I thought that was one of his best defensive games as well. Teams a lot of times have been bringing Julian Rishwain into the action and abusing him on his defense, and he stood up to the challenge tonight. Bear Cherry, he does finish with 8 points, 4 of 9. I didn't think it was a great Bear game. He was shuffling his feet still in the paint. He was a little unsteady. There was I believe he had a turnover too. Did Bear have it? Yeah, he had a travel. So Bear had a turnover. It says he doesn't have a turnover, but I'm pretty sure Bear had a travel that led to a turnover, but I guess I could be wrong. A couple of assists, only 3 rebounds for Bear Cherry in 23 minutes. That's just not enough. Bear, we won this game without it, but if UNLV truly wants to contend in the Mountain West, Bear Cherry's going to have to be a part of that, and Bear Cherry's going to have to play better than he did. So the stories for me tonight, obviously DJ Thomas with the clutch basket, just the stellar play the last couple of games, and really even in that Utah State game, DJ Thomas did not have a great game, but he hit the shot when it mattered most. And so proud of him, proud of that accomplishment. The story for me of the game is what's going on with Jalen Hill. I haven't seen any media post game regarding any mention of him, but I thought that that Jalen Hill only playing that few minutes was pretty surprising, to be honest with you. And yeah, that's basically where we are. The Rebels' defense was stellar. Their on-ball defense was stellar. Their off-ball defense was stellar. They had active hands. They were mucking up passing lanes. They were jamming guys on screens. It was just a really good performance. My favorite performance from the Runnin' Rebels in a long time. Last year, that Creighton game was great, but this is against a conference foe who has been owning us for the last 10 years. And so to go into the Viejas Arena and beat them, it just can't be overstated how big of a deal that is. And it could be a sign. Another Rebel Robert comment. UNLV likely 24-10 heading into Selection Sunday, maybe 23-11. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. I guess, Robert, let's maybe pull up their schedule so we can go through kind of what awaits the Runnin' Rebels. again, sorry for starting tonight. When I said I was going to go tomorrow night, I wanted some piece of UNLV content up, and with the Burner Brigade podcast deleted, needed to get something up. So let's jump into UNLV up to 97 in Ken Palm. They were 104 heading into the San Diego State game. That's a quad one win. I'm a little surprised, frankly, that they didn't go up more in Ken Palm. But the results of the games today haven't all been factored in, so you could see that number move up to the low 90s. We do not know yet. But UNLV 97 in Ken Palm. They probably need to be in the 40 range to get an at-large bid. Wyoming at home. This is a game that's going to make me nervous. I think that this Wyoming team is, they've had some struggles as of late. They've lost 3 straight. A couple of games were close. They did keep New Mexico to a fairly uncomfortable outing for New Mexico. New Mexico did win that game, and they got blown out by both Boise State and Colorado State. So this Wyoming game will be an absolute trap game because the Rebels have New Mexico coming to the Thomas and Mack next Saturday. And so it's going to be a scary game, that New Mexico and Wyoming game. If the Rebels go 2-0 in that stretch, Robert, then I will agree with you that they could have a chance to compete in the Mountain West and compete for a Mountain West championship. I feel like I have to see a 2-0 week next week before I really start talking about that. After that 2-game stretch comes another tough stretch for the Rebels. They play at Utah State. That's going to be a tough game, given that the Rebels, kind of eked out a close game against Utah State, who's a very good team. They play at Reno. Reno's had their struggles this year, but certainly Reno is vulnerable. They play home against Boise State. Tough game. Boise State matches up really well against the Runnin' Rebels. That's a 4-game stretch where they probably have to go New Mexico, Utah State, Reno, Boise State. You're probably right. They have to go 3-2. They have to beat Wyoming. So if this is a 5-game stretch, they have to beat Wyoming and they have to win 2 of New Mexico, Utah State, Reno, and Boise State at home. They can win their home games and lose the road games. That would work. It's a tough task though. Then they finish out with a little bit of an easier stretch. Yes. They play Wyoming again, this time on the road. Always tough to win in Laramie. Regardless of how good Wyoming is. They play Air Force at home. Air Force is really struggling this year. Fresno State away. Again, Fresno State struggling this year, but they are better than you think they are. Colorado State at home. That was originally scheduled as a loss for the Rebels, and now Ken Palm, after this game, has switched it to a win. That's going to be a tough game. San Jose State away. Not always easy to win at San Jose in an empty gym. Reno at home. Tough game. They have that as a loss right now for us, but I'm hoping that the Rebels can win that game. I mean, it's a lot. 2-0 next week, and I feel like we can start feeling a little bit more confident. But lots of stuff to go. I mean, lots of places to go. This Runnin' Rebel team is playing with a lot of heart right now. You cannot ask anything more from them than what they've given us tonight. Finally, we will not lose. If the Runnin' Rebels want to make the NCAA tournament, I'll just tell you, they have to be the Mountain West regular season champions. That's easier said than done. Absolutely. So, I guess we'll see, man. I guess we'll see. Great win tonight. I'm sure that the players, man, Rebel Robert just handed it to me right now. I'm sure that the players are hyped. I'm sure that Kevin Kruger is hyped. Mark my words. All right, everybody, mark Rebel Robert's words. We'll see if he's correct that we won the regular season championship tonight. Yeah, so this is Rebel Robert's words. We won the regular season championship tonight, and then mark my words. I guess we will see. So what next? I was planning on doing a show tomorrow. We'll see. I will do a show definitely before the game on Tuesday against Wyoming, breaking down that game because, it's kind of a short little window that we've got here. I will probably not do a show tomorrow, but you could see one on Monday or at the very latest Tuesday night before the Wyoming game. So great night for the Runnin' Rebels. Great night for UNLV fans. Absolutely fantastic. Proud of the guys. Kevin Kruger, as much as critical as I've been of him, deserves credit tonight. It's tough to go in there and win, and he did. And so tonight, I even still over the last few days, I've been very critical of Kevin Kruger. I posted that thing about, his failures as the head coach at UNLV. Tonight, none of that. And tomorrow, none of that, really, until the Wyoming game. And the Wyoming game is going to be a test of the actual fortitude of this team, and I cannot wait to see it. So that's all for tonight. Wanted to make sure I got something up for you guys. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys supporting me. And yeah, this is just for the fans, man. So let's run, Rebels, and I will talk to you later. Let's run.